Ranma One Half is built on a really clever idea that flips traditional martial arts stories and ideas about identity completely on their heads. At the center of everything are the Jusinkyo cursed springs in China. The rules of these springs are absolute and simple. If you fall into one, you instantly change into whatever drowned there hundreds of years ago whenever you get splashed with cold water. Hot water changes you back to normal. This isn't just a gimmick used for jokes, it is the main rule that drives the whole plot. It creates a world where a character's physical body is never completely stable, mixing magical curses with everyday life. This means that a person's control over their own body is always at the mercy of the weather or a bucket of water. In this chaotic world, the two main characters, Ranma Saotone and Akane Tendo, carry heavy emotional baggage that shapes everything they do. Ranma's biggest issue comes from his father, Genma, who forced him into an incredibly harsh martial arts training regime from the time he was a kid. This cut Ranma off from having a normal childhood and directly led to him getting cursed at Jusenkyo. The curse messes with his head because Ranma wants to be an ultra-masculine guy, but he is constantly forced to live as a girl, experiencing how women are treated and how a female body moves in martial arts. His ultimate goal throughout the series is simple: find a permanent cure so he can finally have his own body back for good. Akane has her own struggles that match Ranma's in a different way. She is dealing with the pain of losing her mother and the massive pressure of inheriting her family's dojo in a world where people think only men should do martial arts. Because of this, she develops a deep distrust of men and vows to stay independent and prove she is a great fighter, a goal that gets completely derailed when her father forces her to get engaged to Ranma. The rivals and bad guys who pop up throughout the show don't want to destroy the world. Instead, they act as mirrors that show Ranma his own flaws. Characters like Raiga Hibiki and Moose are driven by personal grudges caused by the exact same crazy martial arts traditions that ruined Ranma's life. Raiga, who turns into a little black pig because of Ranma's carelessness, represents what happens when you let pure anger and a bad sense of direction control you.
He stands in total contrast to Ranma, who is much more calculating and practical when he fights. Moose shows a similar obsession, but his focus is entirely on winning the love of the Amazon warrior Shampoo, using hidden weapons to make up for his bad eyesight. These rivals aren't trying to change the world. Their goals are very personal and small, like getting a girl to like them or fixing their lost honor. Fighting them forces Ranma to look at himself and think about his own stubbornness and how he treats others. This entire web of fighting and romance is held together by the old-fashioned social rules of traditional martial arts families. The whole story starts because of a promise made by two fathers, Genma Saotome and Soon Tendo. These two men treat their kids like property or business assets to make sure their specific style of martial arts lives on. The main conflicts happen because of these rigid family structures, arranged marriages and ancient tribal laws, like the Chinese Amazon laws that say an outsider must either be killed or married. The show does a fantastic job of putting these ancient dramatic rules right next to the boring, normal life of a Japanese high school student in the late 20th century. This contrast means that a simple walk to school or a basic argument at the dinner table can suddenly turn into a massive battle over family honour, forcing Ranma and Akane to deal with normal teenage awkwardness while literally fighting for their lives. The way the story moves forward balances standalone, funny episodes with a slow build-up of real tension. While many episodes are just about a silly new type of martial arts, like martial arts figure skating or martial arts rhythmic gymnastics, all of these events slowly build up a massive, tangled mess of romantic feelings and fight obligations. The tension doesn't come from a big evil villain plotting in the shadows, but from the fact that more and more people keep joining this giant, messy love polygon. Every time Ranma wins a fight, a new suitor or rival shows up, turning the Tendo household into a total madhouse where no one can hide their true feelings for very long. This keeps the story moving naturally, as the focus slowly shifts from just surviving the next crazy fight to protecting the fragile bond that Ranma and Akane are secretly building with each other.
On the visual side of things, the animation studio, MAPPA, uses smart camera angles and movement to show how the characters are feeling. the camera often zooms out to show the whole layout of the Tendo Dojo or the schoolyard, turning these normal places into big stages for complex fight scenes. During battles, the show uses quick, surprising angle changes and bright, popping background colours that block out the rest of the world, making the fight feel incredibly intense. But when the characters are feeling sad, lonely, or vulnerable, the camera stops moving wildly and pulls in close to their faces to capture small expressions. This balance makes sure that the fast-paced fights actually mean something to the story, using the physical distance between characters during a battle to show how close or distant they feel emotionally. The music and sound design also play a huge part in holding the show's tone together. The sounds of punches and kicks have a lot of weight to them, making the martial arts feel real, while the show uses specific audio cues to let you know when it is switching from a silly comedy joke to a serious moment. The soundtrack uses a lot of traditional Chinese and Japanese instruments mixed with modern beats, which perfectly matches the show's theme of ancient traditions clashing with modern teen life. When things get really emotional, the silly, fast music drops out completely, leaving quiet, simple melodies that let the voice actors' performances shine. This keeps the show's goofy premise from ruining the moments where the characters are going through real, genuine pain. In the end, the story doesn't wrap up with a perfect, neat, happy ending where everything is fixed, because the rules of the world mean a physical cure is almost impossible to find. Instead, the characters have to change from the inside out to survive. The journey forces Ranma to drop his massive defensive pride and accept that he has to live as both a boy and a girl, learning to find strength in his situation rather than being ashamed of it.